Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's coverage of the BTDY Racing Series presented by KHIO, and it is a beautiful night in the Peach State at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, or the old Atlanta Motor Speedway here in Hampton, Georgia. And it's good to be with you, everybody. My name is Alec Martinez. Joining me here tonight is Logan Thurkeld. Logan, it's great to be with you here tonight, and now we are in for an interesting race. Obviously worn out, not a super speedway, but a worn out racetrack. It should be a fun one to watch, especially after Daytona last week.
Absolutely. Daytona just put on one heck of a show. Obviously had some big issues early on in that race, but a lot of drivers stuck their head down and just powered through it. We saw Justin Carey take that win last week. Brody Hayes, who's currently sitting second in qualifying right now, coming second. Jake Mackey there in third. Ryan Gimmel in fourth. It was a good race. Great finish last week.
It sure was, and as our qualifying has wrapped up, how about we take a look at our season standings just from race number one. Justin Carey was the winner in that race, and he was able to get the points lead, a 2-point lead over Brody Hayes, then Jake Mackey, the rookie, in third, Ryan Gimmel, Dennis Faircloth. Kevin Fry is now in sixth. We don't think BTDY is here tonight, but nonetheless, that's just after 1 week of racing. A whole lot more racing to go later this season, later this evening as well. and what will be a stacked race as we take a look at our schedule now as we are at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Next week, I believe we go to a road course, and that is, not only is it wine country, it's Jeff Wright country at the Sonoma Raceway, and then Pocono, where I think you might see me there. I'm not sure, but we'll have to find out. But it is going to be a wild schedule and still a long way to go into that regular season championship in February, and when we get to the Charlotte Motor Speedway and a No Bowl Challenge race at that. But now how about we go to our starting grid here tonight as qualifying has concluded, and it looks like the reigning champion after a disappointing finish at Daytona will roll off as the pole sitter here for tonight's race. And didn't get a lot of practice in that 48, but the 48 looks just A-okay as Jeff Wright is the pole sitter with the 31.612. Brody Hayes will roll off to his outside on the outside pole in second. Row number 2 has Keith Mayato in the 36 with Gary Sexton in the 1 car making his season debut, starting in 4th. Making his season debut as well as Ronnie Osmer in the 20 car with Ryan Gimmel in the 6 on the outside. Behind them is going to be in row number 4, Noah Mahalski in the 03 with Ray Massey, the highest starting Ford Mustang in 8th. And then row number 5 has the Italian stallion AJ Stravato along with 2-time champion as well, Seth Hatchell in the number 8 rolling off in 10th.
Coming up behind our top 10, we've got the 65 of Jace Coley next to the 3rd place taker of last week, Jake Mackey in the 99, starting out in 12th. 13th will go to Cody Atkins in the 55 machine, next to Dallas Sullivan in the 46. Dennis Faircloth will start here in the inside row on the 15th spot, next to Nick Starling in 16th. 17th will go to James Loveland in the 02, next to Chris Samard in the 77. Jeremiah Vincent in the 3 car, starting out here in 19th, next to Alan Dice in 20th.
And then 21st is going to be Aaron Lee, the rookie in the 32 car, who was involved in a massive incident at the beginning of that race. Then on his outside, it's last week's winner, Justin Carey, rolling off 22nd. He'll have some work to do to back up his finish from last week. Then it's Max Cost in row number 12 in the 63 car, the Clash winner at Talladega, rolling off in 23rd. Michael Jones to his outside in 24th. And then row number 13 to end out the field here tonight of 26 race cars is Lane Selfridge and Zach Smith in the 91 Chevrolet Camaro. And I believe Todd Giles says he's rolling off 27th, but is not on the racetrack here. And what is a 200-mile race and what will be 120 laps around the mile-and-a-half racetrack. A worn-out mile-and-a-half racetrack as you'll see our field pacing through turns 3 and 4, and now the pace truck will roll off into pit lane. It'll be the Pepsi 48 machine next to the VSPEED 37 machine on the outside. Green flag is out. The BTDY 200 is underway from the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
I have lost control of my cameras. There we go. We are back with it.
And Wright rolling off of a great start to the race as he'll clear Hayes by 2. Now make it 1 car lengths down the backstretch as the field comes racing into turn number 3 for the first time at full speed. It's Wright, Hayes, Mayato, Sexton, and Gimmel, the top 5. Behind them, it's a battle. Ray Massey, Noah Mahalski, and that blue number 20 of Ronnie Osmer on the inside lane. All blue, yellow 20, and you can't really miss that car. And then, as lap number 1 goes on the board for Jeff Wright, who is the reigning champion, 2-time champion at that. And he's now opened up about a half a second lead over Brody Hayes, but behind them is the action is hot and heavy. That's Ray Massey in that 23 Ford Mustang on the outside, black with the yellow splitter. That's Massey on the outside, and that all yellow and black VSPEED number 6 car with that black number 6. That's Ryan Gimmel in the black and green 03 is Noah Mahalski, who seems to have a little bit of speed and momentum rolling off the outside, and now Gimmel getting pinned to the outside, to the inside lane as the outside lane kind of blowing by.
Yeah, the outside line has a lot of momentum up there between the 23 and the 03. Got a couple scragglers behind them, too.
We forgot to ask you there, Logan. Who was your pick to win this race tonight?
We've got a lot of new faces in here, but I think the driver I'm going to go with has a chip on his shoulder after last week. I'm going with Jake Mackey.
Jake Mackey, and I was going to go, I think the Italian stallion. I picked him last week, got caught up in a wreck, but I saw his speed a couple weeks ago in an SNR race, one of the race series broadcasted on VSPEED, and I think we're going to see AJ Stravato had that long run speed, and that's where it's going to matter here tonight. If you're going to want to win this race, how about Mahalski? High, wide, and handsome to the outside lane, and he gets next to the Eagles car of of Gary Sexton, and now around the outside of Mayato, how about that, Mahalski, not the 2-for-1 special, how about the 6-for-1 special in one lap as he goes by the 37 of Hayes and moved Mahalski from 7th to, from 8th to 2nd in one lap after one move from the outside lane, and now we're going to start maybe seeing guys move up a little bit higher. How about Stravato shooting the middle on the 2 VSPEED cars of Hatchell and Gemmel, and now Massey backs out of it, a little wiggle there from the one of Sexton, and Hatchell now moves up to the top 5 as he moves up into 5th, past Sexton on the inside, and that is the green and white Eagles #1 car of Gary Sexton, as they might say in Philadelphia. Fly Eagles fly, after a great season they've had in the NFL, but about repping the one bird in the other state of the birds, the Atlanta Falcons in the state of Georgia. As here comes Stravato now to the outside of Gary Sexton here, and that is going to be for the 6th position. Starting to see some guys be more aggressive with how they push, and some guys maybe less aggressive and kind of save tires to the end of this run. And how about this battle for the lead now? Mahalski starting to pressure the 48 of right here.
Yeah, Mahalski caught up in an instant, already up 5 positions from where he started. That's impressive to be only 5 laps into the run whenever he got up there.
The field not spread out much here tonight, is the lead only separated by 8/100ths of a second. As behind them, how about the rookie Jace Coley moving up? As a big moment for him there off of turn number 4, but Coley gets it saved and out to the inside of Ryan Gemmel in the 6 car. And how about on the outside, Jake Mackey in the 99 after that 3rd place finish at Daytona, rolling around the outside of Ray Massey, and now around his fellow rookie competitor Jace Coley. And it looks like Gary Sexton may be starting to fall back a little bit as well. As he started inside the top 4, and now he's falling back to 8 now, under pressure from the 65. And Coley's going to get there to the outside, and maybe, I don't know if you're seeing it, Logan, maybe a little bit of damage to the one of Sexton on the left rear.
Yeah, he definitely got a nice bump there on that left rear at some point. Not sure who would have tagged him there. You'd have to imagine you'd see somebody with some front end damage from that.
Possible, and remember, composite bodies, so the front end's a little bit stronger than the rear ends of these race cars, and sometimes rear ends get bent like a little piece of paper mache, and I think that one might be what you're seeing there off of Gary Sexton. And that could be, not only is it handling speed down the straightaways, but it's hurting handling a lot. It's now a lot easier to kind of pack air on that damaged left rear and move him up the racetrack, as we see a lot in the Xfinity Series. With the Xfinity Series cars, you'll see guys try to get close to the guy's back bumper and then kind of move them up with air, not even any contact, just a little bit of air to move them up. And how about this, Ray Massey to the inside of Sexton. This is going to be for the 9th position, and move that Clark Print Shots Ford Mustang up to 9th. And here comes Ronnie Osmer in the 20, and Jake Mackey in the 99 behind them. And how about James Loveland? You can see him right on the inside now of Mackey behind the 20 of Osmer. We saw him last week at Daytona, got caught up in that wreck. But Loveland off to a good start. Seemed to have some long run speed in that 02 car, and he gets moved up into the 11th spot, or excuse me, the 12th spot as he gets by Mackey. And how about Cody Atkins now following in that Dukes Mayo number 55, yellow and white and black 55 of Cody Atkins. He's closed up on this battle. I think that damage is really starting to hurt Sexton, who's now searching all over the racetrack to get some momentum to keep his spots, because I think that damage really starting to affect the handling of that race car.
Yeah, you have to imagine that it is. He's falling back quite rapidly. Down 7 positions right now, sitting in 11th, just outside of the top 10. But all he needs is a caution. That shouldn't be too much time to get that bent back into shape and help his aero out quite a bit.
It would help as Loveland goes to the inside of the one of Sexton, and Atkins follows right behind him. And we'll see if Loveland can get by him. He won't. And you can see Dallas Sullivan maybe having a big moment in the 46 car off of turn number 2 in that Lego Ford Mustang. And tell you what, though, this lead's still staying there. And I think Noah Mahalski's doing a good job maybe staying right behind Jeff Wright, because that's probably the guy you're going to need to at least possibly have to beat here tonight if anything, or if everything goes according to a normal race script. And I think Mahalski doing a great job learning what Jeff Wright's doing. And you can learn a lot here just being behind someone. I know you're kind of hurting the tires in the dirty air, but sometimes it's good to be a follower and not a leader here especially when it comes to saving tires. And I think we're seeing that right now, maybe with Mahalski. Although he's kind of not pressured, but he's doing a good job getting some clean air, at least somewhere, to the front end of that Chevrolet.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job staying all over the back bumper, filling up that rear view mirror of the 48 machine. He's definitely putting the pressure on early, and nothing wrong with that at all. As Mahalski goes to the outside, way high up the racetrack. The 48 sticks to that white line.
See, big momentum coming from the 03. He's going to get to the inside of Jeff Wright using the Larson line on the outside. Mahalski sends it to the bottom, but Wright powers back around on the outside lane and have to use a little bit up of those Goodyear Racing Eagles. That Pepsi machine goes to the outside and around the AutoZone car on the inside, and Mahalski goes back to second, and Hayes waiting in the wings of third. And how about Seth Hatchell as well in fourth? Keith Maiato is fifth, and AJ Stravato lurking in sixth. Behind him, it's Gemmel, then Coley, Massey, Osmer, the top 10. And then you get to the first battle on the racetrack. It's James Loveland, Gary Sexton, and Cody Atkins going at it here. And this is for the 11th position on the racetrack. Loveland now to the outside and trying to go around and carry the momentum around Gary Sexton. And we'll see what happens here off of 4. And it looks like he'll do just that. And there goes Loveland up to 11th. Sexton back down to 12th, and Atkins still stuck at 13th, trying to find a way around the one of Sexton here for that 12th position, but has to ride another lap around. And how about the Todd ride behind them of Dennis Fairclough, who had a great run at Daytona, was running in second down the backstretch, couldn't time the block in time of where Brody Hayes had gotten it, and still ended up with the top 5. There was the 80 of Dennis Fairclough, but so far having a solid night so far, and so good inside the top 15, running 14th. And Dallas Sullivan is that 15th position in the 46. And how about this? Ronnie Osmer by the rookie Jace Coley for 9th around the outside. Looks like Osmer has some speed longer run here. Maybe Coley's starting to slide around. I don't know if you're noticing that, Logan, but that 65 getting a little loose off these corners. And how about Loveland shooting to the inside for now 10th on the racetrack?
Yeah, Loveland now has found the speed that he is looking for. Currently up 6, looking for that 7th position around that 65 machine. See if he can complete that here within the next couple of laps. He's got the pace to do it.
We'll see. Is Loveland good long run pace? And how about this? The Budweiser car, his second start of the season. Jeremiah Vincent it is the week that the Budweiser car will return to racing action, as Dale Jr. will race this weekend at the Florence Motor Speedway in the Cars Tour race, or local late model race at Florence, South Carolina. But Jeremiah Vincent up to 15th, just got by Dallas Sullivan as we see this battle for 10th on the racetrack, and that's Jace Coley trying to hold off James Loveland here in competitive racing so far tonight. As here comes Loveland to the outside, as Coley had a moment there off of turn number 4, and that could have been a bad one there. It's a great save nonetheless. Field continuing to maybe spread out a little bit. And how about this? Cody Atkins to the inside of Gary Sexton, and Sexton has plummeted down the running order from his 4th place starting position. Now Fairclough going on attack here for going to be the 13th position. Fairclough loose down the front stretch. Will lose 1 or 2 spots because here comes Vincent and Sullivan now around the outside, and Fairclough now going to be even with Sullivan. But how about this as well? Jake Mackey kind of falling down the running order and now into the clutches of Chris Simard and Alan Dice. This is a hornet's nest of cars. Oh, there's contact. Mackey makes contact there with Simard and maybe the outside wall. And Dice almost got into both of them in a great save off of turn 2 in what could have been a wreck down the backstretch.
And Nick Starling right there, saw him drop pretty low on the backstretch, also looking to avoid something. Thankfully, it didn't happen.
That could have been bad, and this is the battle, at least behind, or right here. This is from kind of 13th all the way back to 20th on the racetrack. Even Max Cost and Justin Carrier kind of in this mix. So, nonetheless, like it's still very, very, very packed up back here, from what I can tell, and we're definitely seeing this field get a little more spread out towards the front, but back here, man, it is a dogfight for every position here. Is Mackey around the outside of Fairclough here from what will be 16th on the racetrack, trying to hold off the 80 who got loose off of 4 and lost a little bit of that momentum He's done a great job at least holding off him, but as these guys race, they're kind of losing touch with Cody Atkins, who's in 12th, and kind of slowly but surely pulling away as almost no contact there between the 80 and 77 as Samar now going around the outside of Dennis Faircloth, using that middle lane as Mackey using it a little bit lower. And that's so great about this racetrack, Logan, is how wide this track can get. We see guys kind of using every lane available to them where there's clean air.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to in a track like this because this is the pre-repaved version of Atlanta. So, you know, you're going to have a lot of lines being used up depending on where the traction is. Where with the new pavement.
Wow, Carey!
Big moment there.
Big moment, like you said, and what a save from Jesse Carey, the Daytona winner. And did a heck of a job saving it. And how about this inside the top 5 as well? AJ Stravato has moved up into 5th, just around Keith Maato the last lap around. How about even Ryan Gemmel having some speed going to the outside of his teammate?
Yeah, Gemmel just absolutely sent it into turn 1 there on that high side.
Get there. How about move Gemmel up to 6? Maato going to lose 2 spots in just 1 lap. And even Gemmel going up higher now to get by AJ Stravato. And what will be for 5th. And the 6 car starting to have some life as this run continues to go on. And we'll see how much longer we'll be able to do. And I think we kind of maybe forgot to check our race analysis and our stats as we're on board with Keith Maato, who is running 7th. Has a great view of the battle for the 5th place position. Gemmel in the 6 and P6. Trying to get around the Italian stallion AJ Stravato, who has a big moment on the inside. And he'll probably lose 1, maybe lose that spot again back to Keith Maato. Gemmel settles in to the 5th place position, and even ahead of them, battle for the lead's getting hot and heavy again because Hayes and Hatchell putting more pressure on Mahalski, who's putting more pressure on Wright.
Yeah, so that's wow, what a sequence.
Yeah. Getting a lot. The track's starting to get more and more races. These tires continue to fall off. As now Hayes to the outside of Mahalski, who gets sideways on the inside, and he'll lose 1 and maybe another spot to the VSPEED teammates of Hatchell. And remember last year in the championship chase, Hatchell and Mahalski had contact, virtually ending both of their championship hopes. So maybe no bad blood between them, but hard racing nonetheless as Hatchell now goes around the 03 for 3rd on the racetrack in the top 3 now. Wright, Hayes, Hatchell, and then Mahalski 4th, Gemmel in 5th. In this field up at the front now starting to get a little more tighter as Jeff Wright, he's got decent pace, but how much is he pushing that car?
It's got to be quite a bit, honestly. He had that early battle with Mahalski. You know, Mahalski put a lot of pressure on Jeff Wright for about 15 to 20 laps. Now, obviously, Mahalski's used up quite a bit of his tires as we see him falling back from 2nd to 4th. It's still up 3 positions currently. Seth Hatchell up 7 since the start of this race.
Yeah, man, there was almost a big moment in turn 3 as Jeremiah Vincent almost spun in on the inside of Chris Samar. Now he's on the inside of Alan Dice and Nick Starling and Max Koss. And these guys, you can tell, sliding off of these corners, bobbing and weaving the tires, 28 laps on them. These guys are on ice, basically, as these tires continue to wear. I mean, look at, we're already, almost 2 seconds off the pace. Oh, trouble down the front stretch. Ryan Gemmel might have had a moment off of 4 and was it looked like he hit the wall there in the tri-oval. You don't really see that often, but now pretty heavy damage to the right side of Ryan Gemmel, who has fallen back from 5th to 9th.
That's a big moment for the 6 machine, but staying real close to the 20 of Ronnie Osmer. Doesn't seem to be too off pace just yet.
We can see maybe get a replay of what happened to him here in a couple minutes, but it looked like he might have got off to the outside wall and brushed it as Stravato now starting to pressure pressure Noah Mahalski for 3rd, and he has gotten that spot away, or 4th, and Mahalski now a slow and steady drift towards the outside of the top 5 as he gets passed for 4th, and now we'll get passed for 5th by Keith Maato. And how about Ray Massey in the 23, not too far behind in 7th? He's got some decent long run speed, and now Maato gets by Mahalski for the 5th position, and now Massey trying to capitalize as well, and maybe get 6th away as Jeff Wright has opened up about a 6/10 of a second lead over Brody Hayes as these three continue to battle. This is 5th, 6th, 7th on the racetrack. Osmer starting to run these guys down a little bit as they continue to race. Oh, Mayato has a big moment off of turn number 2 and might lose that spot back to the 03 of Mahalski. And here comes Massey now trying to capitalize on both of their mistakes, or at least one car falling off in the mistake of the 36 as Mayato drifts up the racetrack here off of turn number 4. And how about Ray Massey maybe trying to get the 2-for-1 special? Where will he go? He'll think about middle, as now Mahalski going to try to cut that lane off, take the air away, as now Mayato rolling that inside lane down, but going to get pinned on the inside. How about Massey trying to cross both of them over? Won't be able to do so, and now still stuck side by side for the 5th place position.
I saw Massey take that look to the inside of Keith Mayato. Mayato came down just a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see if maybe Massey tries to split the middle or try to carry momentum outside around Mayato. He definitely looks a little bit better than both of the 03 and the 36, and we'll see what happens as Hatchell trying to get by his teammate for 2nd, and this time I think Mayato, if he can get the power down, will clear the 03. He will give a lane to him on the outside, and you'll see him in the screen as Seth Hatchell got by the 03, or excuse me, the 37 of Brody Hayes as this battle between the 36, 03, and 23 continues, and Osmer has slowly but surely reeled them in, and he's tagging Ryan Gimmel and James Loveland, who seems to be the biggest mover of this race so far, as Loveland, a lot of spots gained from his starting position in the 02.
And Loveland's currently up 7. Not quite the biggest mover. That still belongs to Seth Hatchell up there in 2nd.
Oh, look at this. Here comes a big run from Massey. Shoots down up from the outside to the inside. And 3 wide into turn number 3 for the 5th place position. Massey backs out of it. Mahalski goes way wide, and that might allow Mayato to finally clear the 03, and maybe the 23 can get one spot out of it as the 03 taps the wall off of 4, but he keeps on his position as Mayato finally gets 5th away. But now Massey trying to get 6th from the 03. Might have to do a little bit of a slide job on the 03 here off the corner, but he's got that spot. Won't have to worry about that. Massey now up to 6th. Mayato up to 5th. And the 03 of Mahalski now 3 wide again into turn 3. How about Chris Samard up a couple spots, trying to take Coley and Atkins 3 wide, and he's going to get the 2-for-1 special in one set of corners and move Chris Samard up to 11th as Atkins falls back to 12th and Coley falls back to 13th, and now Coley has a meter full of Dallas Sullivan. As you can see, Cody Atkins trying to get back around, but he'll slide behind the 37. And how about that? Sullivan gets by Jace Coley and Nick Starling trying to find a way to get around both of them. The teammate involved, and Starling backs out of it wisely. But look at Sullivan slide into the corner. Sent it in there, and he got the spot, but it's going to hurt his exit speed because here comes teammate Nick Starling to the inside, and the rookie Jace Coley trying to find a way as they both slide into the tri-oval.
Yeah, that exit of turn 4 is getting really slick right now for these drivers, but they're handling it as best as they can.
They are, and how about this? For 3rd, it's AJ Stravato to the inside of Brody Hayes for 3rd, who gets sideways on the inside, but he hangs on to it, and what a save for 3rd, and everybody using the outside lane. And how about this? Jeff Wright now 2nd and a half in front of Seth Hatchell in the 8, and how about that for Jeff Wright, has led every single lap tonight. And yeah, that battle though for 13th on back is still going good, I must say.
Bounce back here to that, take a look at what's going on, but you know, we
Slider.
mentioned not quite getting to the race analysis, ran out of time for that. 120 laps obviously tonight. We have 4 tire sets over the wall available, 80% fuel load, and 3 green-white checkers on the docket for tonight. So if we need them, we've got them.
Oh, and a slide job there from Starling to Coley. Coley was not too happy with the game, a little bit of a bumper there in the middle of 3 and 4, but he gets by, and Starling finally clears. And now here comes Alan Dice now looking there for the outside of Coley, but he goes way wide, has to back out of the throttle, and we'll have to wait another lap. But how about Max Koss now using the inside lane to the of Alan Dice's? Oh, little wall contact there for Dallas Sullivan, and man, these guys sliding all over the place, and they are going at it back here.
You can see the 46 right there, just how much he's sliding through turns 3 and 4. looks like the back end is just wanting to come around so easily.
And look at how wide this track is getting. You see everybody kind of way up the racetrack in turns 3 and 4, at least back here. At the front, though, most everybody kind of respecting the bottom. Ronnie Osmer to the outside of Noah Mahalski for 7th on the racetrack into turn number 3, and he will get that spot. So move Osmer in the 20 up to 7th. Mahalski back down to 8th, and Dallas Sullivan going to the inside, going to maybe let his teammate go by, and we'll see what. Oh, slowing down. Maybe pit stops, trying to cut this race into thirds. Max Cost into pit road. Got to be very easy. A slick pit road is Sullivan in hot. And here comes another car behind them. I think that's Aaron Lee in the 32. He'll bring in that Moser Chevrolet. And yeah, maybe pit stop started a little bit earlier. I think we've seen guys cut this into thirds.
Yeah, this is a strategy. I mean, we've got the 80% fuel load, so it's definitely not for fuel. It 100% has to be for tires. I'll keep my eye on the pit box time here. Yes, every single one of them came down, took 4 tires. Dallas Sullivan, Max Cost, Aaron Lee, Jeremiah Vincent, Lane Sulfridge.
Yeah, he brought it in as well. So this will be interesting. Now these guys need to hope for no caution, but they are going to be miles ahead in terms of pace and speed. So we'll see. Maybe we'll start seeing guys come in inside the top 10. It sounds like AJ Stravado crew on the wall. Ray Massey crew on the wall. They're coming in. Here comes the 33. Here comes the 23 as well. Now, really starting to see this pit cycle begin as we almost get close to maybe lap 45. And cars entering and exiting pit road. Justin Carey, last week's winner, brought it in down pit road. He got service to his 21 Chevrolet Outlaw design car. And now we'll see what Jeff Wright or maybe even Seth Hatchell try to bring it into pit road. Maybe try to short stop the 48 of Wright. Or are these guys going to try to go really, really long and see what they can do? Maybe make it on one.
I mean, Jeff Wright has the pace. That would probably be the smartest play for him. Obviously, he's going to have a lot of cars with some good speed, but able to stay out here while they're all going through their pit cycle. He's going to put some distance between him and them.
Is Mackey coming down pit lane and a couple guys staying out. Jack Smith coming down pit lane. And Ray Massey was able to jump AJ Stravado there down pit road. I'm curious to see maybe what happened there in pit road, but Massey entered about a 1.5 seconds behind. It seemed like maybe a mistake out of the 33 crew. Yes, Stravado missed his box. And that allowed Massey to jump him in terms of time, and now Brody Hayes is into pit road as well. We'll see if anybody else decides to come in. It doesn't look like they will, and it's still going to be Hayes, at least right now. And seen a lot of difference in lap times of coming in, coming out, but if you're Ray Massey, who's just about to come across, or will click his first lap on, but even Dallas Sullivan, he's a 1.5 seconds faster than our leader. Jeremiah Vincent, even a 1.5 seconds faster, and he's got 8-lap older tires, or 8-lap old tires compared to Jeff Wright's 46-lap old tires, but really, really good pace out of Wright, though, in this long run, who's just barely below 34-second bracket lap times, but even Seth Hatchell just barely below, Keith Mayato barely below, but everybody behind those three just inside the 34s. So it's interesting to see how much longer will these guys be willing to go, maybe to lap 50. Can lap 60 be a possibility to get it to the end of this race?
I think lap 60 is a high possibility for at least the top 3. Just have to see. We're seeing a little bit more shuffling around on the board right now. Some more drivers coming in for tires.
Faircloth's in, and it looks like Massey just got passed by Stravado. But yeah, great lap times. Ray Massey and AJ Stravado, 32 1s and 32 2s. So, I mean, almost 2 seconds faster than Jeff Wright. As here comes Chris Samar coming down pit lane. Keith Mayato has just brought it down to pit lane. That might be the dice that falls. And how about this? Jeff Wright now, their leader, coming into pit lane.
Jeff Wright, but Seth Hatchell staying out.
Smart in kind of hot there. Didn't hit anybody or hit anything and slid in, but gets in cleanly. Gemmel is in pit road, so that leaves Hatchell, Osmer, and Jones, although Jones coming in that Coca-Cola Ford. So that only leaves 2 cars on the racetrack that have yet to pit, and we'll see if and when Seth Hatchell brings it in. It looks like
right
now And we'll see maybe where Ronnie Osmer comes in. He's coming in now, so this will complete the pit cycle as Jeff Wright now just exiting pit lane, and he'll lose a spot to Stravato, to Massey, maybe to Hayes. It'll be very tight to see if Brody Hayes will get around Jeff Wright. I think he will, though, but that'll be the only car that does. Is Wright. A little bit of a moment there off of pit exit.
Wright still has to pick up some momentum. He's got Jeremiah Vincent looking around the outside. He's going to lose one more spot.
I don't think so.
He's got the
And
tires.
Vincent, oldest tires in the field, is going to not be able to hold off. That's 12 compared to 0 laps. And we'll see maybe where Wright can stack up only 3 seconds behind AJ Stravato with now 6 lap older tires, as there goes the 8 and the 20 out of pit road. So the pit cycle is complete. So it'll be interesting to see.
One thing I have to say, Alec, is paint schemes out here today are kind of all over the board. I'm really digging this number 2 Coca-Cola of Michael Jones. That is a fantastic paint job right there.
I saw it coming to pit lane. I was like, wow, that's a really good looking scheme. And we saw him in the Verizon car last week, and the 2 didn't have a great run as he got turned into the outside wall. But nonetheless, a great run there a great scheme there for the 2 of Michael Jones, and a good looking Ford Mustang at that, as Hayes gets past, Jeff Wright gets past Brody Hayes, and we'll see how long it's going to take for these tires to even out over a run. Will it take 20? Will it take 30 laps? Usually there's somewhere in between that threshold of when the tires will officially kind of even out, and that short pitting will actually help a little bit. But Wright is chewing in the lead of AJ Stravato.
The question is, though, we saw Jeff Wright with an insane run to start this out, putting almost a 2-second gap to second place. Is there really such thing as the tires evening out for that 48 machine?
We'll have to see, and I think it's possible for sure, given how Atlanta chews up tires. If you push any harder than you think you need to, yeah, there's a possibility at about 30 or so laps, we'll see tires even out in a 45, 50 lap run. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens as the field kind of getting more acclimated to the surroundings of it. And we'll have to see, though, as Ronnie Osberg trying to get around Noah Mahalski with a little bit of fresher tires. We see Seth Hatchell getting around Jeremiah Vincent, who's very loose off the exit of turn 2. But Hatchell with the freshest set of tires in the field, or freshest tires in the field, as well as Ronnie Osberg. They're kind of picking their way through. And Hatchell gets by the lap machine of Zach Smith. And I think maybe the biggest gain out of everybody here is going to be Dallas Sullivan, who did a great job in terms of pinning, and he's still inside the top 10, running in 6th. Going to lose the spot to Hatchell, but a lot of guys behind him still, and around the tires he was. So it's going to take a while for maybe Atkins and Mahalski to get back to him, because Coley and Dice, they really have about the same amount of tire wear and pit time as Sullivan. And I think Sullivan did a great job, at least on pit entry and pit stop. At least he was way better than most of the competitors in this race.
That was a great round of green flag pit stops. Pretty well for everybody here. Most of the drivers under that 40-second pit lane time. I'm seeing a lot of them right in that mid 38 second from start to finish. So awesome run of green flag pit stops.
It makes you wonder, if AJ Stravato didn't mix his box, how far ahead of this field would he be? Because Stravato is going to be under pressure from his teammate Jeff Wright, as Wright is going to probably just breeze past the 23 of Ray Massey for second, and what will now be a battle for the lead as Wright gets by in the lap car of Michael Jones, kind of just spying on the leaders here behind him, going to at least try to make sure he's the first car lap down if we get a caution. And now Wright peeks to the inside lane of AJ Stravato, and teammate will let teammate go by, and there goes Jeff Wright back to the point. And what will be probably going to need a caution for anybody else to touch that 48 car with now one of the freshest tires in the field, cars with freshest tires in the field, going to probably breeze and pull away slowly but surely.
Yeah, Jeff Wright said, AJ, you've got your bonus points. I'm taking the lead back. This is my race.
And it looks like it has been what has been a dominant performance the last couple of years in this series, and came very close in the next gen car, in which he is none too familiar, I should say, with that car. But I tell you this, though, he barely lost to Ben Baffert in that championship and then last year came out, dominated most of the season, and was just lights out, and really nobody could touch him. Even I think Seth Hatchell had a chance, but other than that, consistency was key for Jeff Wright. We talk about this, the season could get out of hand really quick. We got trouble. Jeremiah Vincent is sliding. Oh, and he gets nailed by Chris Simone in the 77. And there is the first caution of the evening, and a heavily damaged Budweiser Chevrolet of Vincent as he tows it back to pit lane. And there is the first caution, the 77 sitting idle on the inside wall in turns 1 and 2, and he has towed it back to pit lane. And that is the first caution of the evening in a heavy wreck. And it looked like maybe, Cody Atkins getting a piece of it. Even James Loveland, and nowhere for Chris Samard to go as he nails the left front of Jeremiah Vincent. And look at that suspension destroyed on the 3. And Vincent with the oldest tires in the field, the first car to bring it down pit lane. Getting passed by the 03, and then I think there was a couple other guys going around him, and I think he got split 3 wide between Loveland and Cully, and just maybe lost control of it on the entry, and then they both went up to the wall, and then just in the path of Cody Atkins, and then nowhere for Chris Samard to go. It nails the 3, and now this puts everybody in a peculiar position to bring it down pit lane, and they will. Jeff Wright coming up pit lane. Hey, there's the pace car. And yeah, there's on board with Chris Samard.
See it happening up there.
It's
Tries
happening.
to go low. Should have gone high.
Just wrong lane, wrong time as the field is down pit lane, and we'll see the race off of pit road here. It looks like Jeff Wright is going to get the spotting. AJ Stravato's woes on pit road continue. He will lose 2 spots to Massey and Mayato. And then Stravato back down to 4th. And then it's Hatchell, Hayes, Sullivan, Osmer, Dyson, Coley, the top 10 as they exit pit lane, as we are just about to pass halfway. And why not hear from a little bit of our sponsors, and we'll be back after a quick commercial break for the restart in the BTDY 200 from Atlanta.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader, known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs. You can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
And welcome back live here for the BTDY 200 and the BTDY Racing Series presented by KHIO as lap 61 has just gone on the board after pit stops. It's Jeff Wright and Ray Massey, the front row. It will be AJ Travato and Keith Maiato, they always seem to be by each other in third and fourth. And now the next half of this race will get green as the pace car will pull off into pit road. Barney with the green flag in hand. Green flag is out and we're back underway. Massey spins the tires. Inside lane doesn't get going. And almost a big incident down the front stretch, and Hatchell had to evade, and he is going to lose a couple spots out of that. And how about Hayes and how about Osmer trying to capitalize on that inside lane's mistakes as they're 3 wide for the 5th place position off of turn number 2.
Big wiggle there as the 23 of Massey crossed over in front of Seth Hatchell, getting back to that high side. Hatchell got a little loose right there, sandwiched between 20 and the 36.
And Hatchell will have to lose one spot and he'll lose one spot to the 36 and another to the 20. And now the 20 fighting the 36 on the outside. Osmer in that blue Chevrolet, and the inside that VSPEED 36, the other blue car, I should say, a lighter blue car, is the 36 of Maiato, and he is going to get right on by the 20 of Osmer, or excuse me, he's going to get stuck behind the 20 of Osmer, and Osmer now shooting the outside of Massey and Hayes.
Yeah, Osmer right now in that blue 20 machine, he is on that loud pedal hard, getting around the 23 on the outside. Now he's going to hunt down the 37 of Hayes.
Man. And how will this affect the end of this race? It was only going to be a 60-lap run. We know guys can't make it to the end. Are you going to try to push and cut this race in half, which will only be 30 laps? So maybe that's what we're seeing Osmer do as he goes to the outside of Hayes now for third. How about Coley now to the outside wall, though? That's last time he was up to 8, but he got the wall, and he's still up into the wall. Might lose that position to Sullivan. And look at the 20, Ronnie Osmer to third, and now Maiato looking up to 5th and looking for 4th. Coley's starting to fight hard as well as the top 5 all over each other. I should say more the top 10 all over each other. Osmer gets loose, has to come up in front of Hayes. Maiato backs out of the throttle there into turn number 3. And the top 2 not pulling away just yet, about a 2-car length gap from Stravato to Osmer to Hayes to Maiato, and then Hatchell and Massey making a little bit of contact. Massey sent to the infield. Massey gathers it up, but he loses a lot of spots after a lot of contact between he and Seth Hatchell for 5th. And Massey goes from 6th on the racetrack to 15th behind James Loveland in the 0-2, but a lot of track position loss, and we'll take a look at what happened and what was the battle for 6th on the racetrack, and not 5th, excuse me, on that part. And we'll see there, it looks like just both of them going for the same the same real estate there. It looks like the 23 is going to get the worst end of that deal. And now live back to 15th he goes, and now looks like Noah Mahalski up to 8th as he gets by Sullivan. And how about Nick Starling, an appearance of the top 10? Starling solidly working himself up to the field.
Yeah, Starling doing a great job. Fell back early, but now up to 9th and 7 positions up from the starting spot.
He has, as Jeff Wright continues to dominate this race, but AJ Stravato, maybe the closest car to him tonight, is able to keep with him within about 2 or so tenths of a second. And now Keith Maiato to the outside of Ronnie Osmer for what will be the 3rd place position. Osmer made a lot of spots up on the restart, restarted 8th, got up to 3rd, but now losing one of those spots to the 36. And how about Brody Hayes and even Seth Hatchell waiting to pounce if the 20 starts to make mistakes here, starts to lose that momentum and lose his cool. As Osmer goes back to 4th, he'll have to clear up right in front of Hayes, and Hayes, not one of those guys willing to back down and not afraid to let you know when he's not happy.
And he's already almost to the back bumper. I'd say he'll be door to door. Just about. He'll have that momentum out of turn 2 here, coming down the back stretch, and he'll be door to door certainly by turn 3.
And he is going to get there to the outside of the 20 of Osmer, and even Hatchell going to follow his teammate Hayes by for what will be 4th and then 5th on the racetrack. Brody Hayes moves up to 4th And Osmer back down to 5th, although the outside lane carrying momentum, and he might lose another spot to set Hatchell in. How about Noah Mahalski rebounding in that 03 car just behind Hatchell? Maybe going to try to go a little bit higher and get some cleaner and get an even bigger run. On board with the 03s, you'll hear the RPMs raise down the backstretch. You decide to make a more aggressive move. No, he stays in line just behind Seth Hatchell. As now he goes to the outside, gets some clean air, using the higher lane to his advantage. Can he make it work? When will we see these guys pit? Who can make a desperate move? Nick Starling to the infield now. A big moment for the 18 car, and he'll gather it up next to his teammate. Seemed to make it not lose as much time as the 23 did, but what a save from Nick Starling as he goes down to the infield. Maybe that becoming more of a lawnmower than a race car, but he gets it back going and stays in the 10th place position. Hey, what though? Jace Coley, really good speed on the short run here. With this race has now become a short run race, Coley might be in a good spot here. We'll see what happens. As I gotta think you're gonna split this race just about in half here, 30 laps per run.
Yeah, this is a perfect setup here, especially if we have a caution. Well, it's just gonna be an all-out brawl from that caution to the end of this 120 lap race.
Well, you gotta think if we get Cody Atkins, big moment there off of 2, and you got to think if we get a caution now, then it becomes a long run race because we probably won't see these drivers pit unless a caution comes out. Either way, we're seeing these guys pit one more time. Just the difference in lap counting, I guess you should say, the difference in laps we're going to see per run may vary depending on cautions or if this goes green. And thinking that it could go green here, we're looking at about 30 laps per run from this run, from lap 60 almost to maybe anywhere around lap 90 to 95, and then from there all the way to the full race distance of 120.
This is going to be fun no matter what happens here. It's setting up to be a fantastic ending already. You can see it developing.
Will Jeff Ryder, Jeff Ryder, Keith Maiato, maybe Seth Hatchell or Brody Hayes have anything to say about this? Ronnie Osman, Noah Mahalski, this whole top 10 only separated by 1.2 seconds on the racetrack. So that's one lap of short pitting. If this gap stays the same within the next 15 or so laps, I don't anticipate it doing that. But if it were to, one lap short pitting can get you the lead.
It absolutely can, but you also have to consider Jeff Wright has been absolutely dominating this race so far. He's got the pace. If he can manage to stay out the entire time, and the fuel capacity works for 60 laps, I think Jeff Wright will not come back down pit lane. Yeah,
I think we saw that last run. I don't anticipate to see anybody try to make it on fuel. I think maybe a 50-lap run, yes, a 60-lap. That's just tough to say because I think, what did they pit? At lap 50 on the first run there? I think that's going to be very hard. How about Ray Massey, a spirited drive back up from 15th place position and trying to get around James Loveland there for 12th on the racetrack. He's already gotten by Gimmel, he's gotten by Cost, and now he's worked himself up to 13th, but remember, he was running in 7th, so he's got a little bit of ways to go till he gets there, and we might see the Clark Print Shops Ford Mustang be one of those first guys to pit and get that track position.
That would not be a bad call for the 23 team. Come down a little early, get some fresh tires, start passing people.
And I'll tell you what, though, Jeff Wright has not pulled away from AJ Stravato like he did earlier in this race. And we saw earlier in the race that once we got to about 20 or so laps in, Jeff Wright started opening up the gap. And right now, he has it, and we're closing up on, what, 17, 18 laps in this run. It's possible that Wright's just kind of maybe saving, I think he is, but maybe faster cars now competing with this 48.
It's so hard to say. This track is just such a variable in itself. We've got a hard battle here for second between Stravato, Maiato, and Hayes. Say that 3 times fast.
Oh, that's tough to say. Keith Maiato and AJ Stravato seem to always find each other around on the racetrack, and behind them, Ronnie Osmer and Noah Mahalski have kind of been going at it here for 6th and kind of blocking each other in. How about this? Keith Maiato to the outside of AJ Stravato for 2nd. This could be a big move here in terms of who wins this race, but if they get to racing too hard, this could be the time where Jeff Wright just gets on it and pulls away.
It very well could. This might be exactly what the 48 team wants to see behind them.
We'll see see as they use the momentum down the front stretch. Travato fighting back on the inside of Keith Mayato, but the outside lane with the momentum that he carries, seeming to pull that 13 or that 36 just away. He's all there's trouble down the front stretch. Noah Michalski, they got the wall on the exit of turn 4. He did, and he has fallen all the way back to 15th place position as the 03 as Keith Mayato finally clears AJ Travato for second, but Michalski falling back quick to 15th as Ray Massey now underneath James Loveland for the 11th place position, and then Jace Coley and Dallas Sullivan having solid runs inside this top 10.
Yeah, we've got two very defined groups forming here. We've got the first place position all the way back to 7th, and then around that 8th position of Dallas Sullivan, Nick Starling. I apologize, that was 1st to 6th, and then 7th place back to about 12th, all under a blanket here. So two very defined groups.
It sure is. How about this? Mayato now, or I should say Jeff Wright, opened up that gap by about a 10th or so, but could be about 10 laps or so away from pit stops. When will we see these guys bring it down pit lane? I think for sure within the next 20, we'll see everybody probably down pit lane at a certain point. I don't think you could stay out too long from that 30. I think that 30 is a benchmark for everybody. There's Michalski getting past by the Daytona winner, Justin Carey, on the outside. Carey solidly worked himself back up inside the top 15. Did not have the greatest of first starts. How about this? Max Cost down pit lane with 40 to go. Dallas Sullivan into the infield. He's going to the grass. This could be, that is an unfortunate thing to happen as Dennis Fairclough got up to the outside wall trying to avoid, but a big moment for Dallas, and that is going to cost him many, many spots. Battling there with Jace Coley. On the outside, trying to get some momentum. Oh, he just loses it off the exit.
Yeah, just big time loose, kind of all the way through turn 4. Started there on the exit of 3. Bunny hop in that 46 machine.
Sure is, and now Coley continues to hold on to 7 as Starling and Dice kind of stuck behind. Loveland stuck behind Dice. Massey finally gets around Ryan Gimmel for 11, and the Massey's finally up to 11th place position, but he's been stuck behind this 02 for most of this run ever since he had that moment there as Loveland almost gets into the back bumper of Dice, had to get out of the gas, and now Massey to the inside. Max Cost was the first car to bring it down pit lane. You see the pace that he has. If he can muster something to jump everybody here, but maybe a little bit too early on that call. We'll have to see if that's the case.
On board right now with Ryan Gimmel. Just saw the 02 of Loveland and the 5 of Dice both get into the wall in the entrance of 1. Gimmel had to check up pretty hard to avoid any contact. Everybody kept it straight. That was impressive.
He did, and Massey able to get by. There's somebody coming down. It's Ronnie Osmer in the 20 car into pit road. Going to make himself have a little bit of a longer run now. When are we going to see these guys come in as a second already off the pace from the start of this race? So be interesting to see here as Massey was able to get a couple spots that last run and got by Loveland, got by Dice, who's starting to struggle here. And Massey, really, really good pace on this long run as well, but just lost so much time having that moment going through the grass.
That grass is, it's not very grippy, Alec.
It sure isn't, and I think AJ Travato might have made a mistake letting Keith Mayato get by him, because unless he can get by him right here, Mayato is holding up that 33, and Jeff Wright is starting to pull away here. And we'll see as Mayato comes up to the outside, and now Travato gets down to the inside here into turn 3. Hayes now under pressure from Hatchell, but these guys letting Jeff Wright kind of just run away with it. And I think right now Keith Mayato, even though is second, and he probably wants to win this race, so I think Jeff Wright's best friend is going to be that 36. Is almost some contact off of turn number 2 or turn number 4, and that right there alone was 0.2 of a second. Alan Dice now down pit road, and we'll see as this field continues to spread out. Right now, Max Cost is a second a lap faster than everybody, so this is getting really, really good for Cost here, who will jump to the lead here, but Dice, Sullivan is in pit road. This is getting very close to pit stops here. When will we see these guys pit? And I think Stravato might have something for the 48 of Jeff Wright, but he needs to get by Keith Mayado, and he needs to get by him really quick.
Yeah, something has to develop for Stravato right now as he is on the inside line.
Could be the move. We'll see. Mayado backed off for the corner, and he let Stravato go, but Stravato's got to clear up. He can't do it, and Mayado comes back on the outside, and their pit window of short pitting is slowly diminishing lap after lap as they continue to battle, and Jeff Wright is loving what he's seeing, and he continues to run away.
Yeah, out to a full second now to second place.
Mayado is doing nothing wrong. It's just frustrating for AJ Stravato, who does have a faster car, to get by him, and we know it's just tough to get around when momentum carries, and really car doesn't matter if you can just hold up. This time, though, Stravato got to the outside of the 36, and he's there this time in the preferred groove for second. This could be a big difference in what happens in this race. Can he run down Jeff Wright as Mayado sends it in? Stravato sent it up too high, and this might allow Mayado to just clear right around again. Oh, here comes Keith Mayado to pit road. That might force the hand of Jeff Wright and a couple others to bring it down.
Took a different camera shot there and saw the 20 of Ronnie Osmer.
Osmer, yeah, he's coming.
He's moving on those new tires.
And right now, he's about 2 seconds faster than fifth on the racetrack, which is Starling. And Osmer has a pretty clean track ahead of him. He's only got the top four. As they're running higher and higher on the racetrack, Osmer's running lower and just blowing by these guys. Look at the difference in tires. And that's only, what, 25 laps of tires difference? That's a huge mark here as Hatchell now bringing it down pit lane. Hatchell was stuck behind his teammate Hayes. Is now a 1.5 gap between Stravato and his teammate Jeff Wright. How about this? Ray Massey contact with Nick Starling, and these guys that are pitting, that's one thing they can't afford is a caution coming out.
That caution right now would just completely ruin the strategy of that short pit. And I tell you what, Massey has been making some moves here lately. Now he's going to bring it down.
He's coming to pit road, and Brody Hayes is down to pit road. So this about splitting this run exactly in half as Osmer now unlaps himself from Jeff Wright and now has clean air, and what will eventually, I have to think, will easily get him the lead. So this will be interesting to monitor when these guys pit. But again, you got to remember, it's only 30 laps. There's not a lot of time to make up. I think Jeff Wright might be able to, but if you're Stravato or anybody else staying out, how long is too long? Because you're taking laps away from yourself now. It's not like you're going 40 laps. You're going only 28 from here.
Yeah, you really have to be thinking about it. It's now or never if you're going to pit. If you pit later than this, I'm not sure you're going to have enough time to make up all that ground that you're going to lose.
Yeah, and Hatchell and Hayes are kind of having to deal with traffic to get out, so that's could help the cause. But Coley now is in pit road, Starling in pit road, Fairclough they're coming in, Massey just exiting, so a long way to go. When do these guys start bringing in? Here comes Jeff Wright to pit road.
That gives AJ Stravato the lead one more time here.
And maybe a smart move by Wright to just bring it in and know, but where will Jeff Wright cycle out here, because Osmer is already coming into turns 3 and 4, so he's going to blow by Jeff Wright. Wright just needs to have a solid execution of pit stop, and he will be about 8 laps fresher tires than Osmer, 5 lap fresher tires than Mayado, only about 3 lap fresher tires than Hatchell, and then Hayes only going to have a lap fresher. So when does Jeff Wright exit pit road? He does right now. So where will he cycle out? He's probably going to come out just behind Seth Hatchell. We'll see if he comes out behind Brody Hayes. So be close here between Hatchell, but I doubt we're going to see Hayes get around him. Although, in fact, some momentum, Hayes will have it, but I just don't think he's going to be able to get in front of the 48, and he won't.
Had Hayes carried the momentum through that high line, I think he might have gotten around.
Tires cold there for Jeff Wright, so we'll see as AJ Stravato now exiting pit road here as 25 laps to go for AJ Stravato, who's going to probably be full push as Carey now gets the lead, gets a bonus point to his name. Gamble behind them. These guys going so long, probably hoping for a caution, and if they get it, they're going to be in a good spot. But how about this? Ronnie Osmer is going to get this lead, but he's only going to be about 8 seconds ahead of Jeff Wright. Is that going to be enough to hold him off for the next 25 laps? And then he's got Keith Maiato, who has 5-lap pressure tires, too. He's closing up on Osmer. And here comes Kerry.
One thing to think about here, Alec, is with Kerry coming down now, obviously Gimmel's going to collect a bonus point here for the lead lap, but realistically, if there was a caution at this point for Gimmel, he only has 5 or 6 cars that are lapped right now, so it's not going to benefit him.
No, and it wouldn't. But the interesting thing is if you pit now, you probably will get the lead. Maybe some guys will stay out, but nonetheless, you'll have fresher tires, and you'll jump everybody, because right now, Osmer's probably coming in and taking his last set. Everybody that's came in is probably taking their last set, minus maybe Wright and Stravato, but even then, 3 laps is a big difference at a track like Atlanta with this older surface that just chews tires apart. That's a big difference.
Absolutely, it is. And right now, Seth Hatchell on 6-lap old tires, Jeff Wright on 3, Brody Hayes on 5. It's the only 3 in the top 10 right now. I apologize, Keith Maiato's also on 8, but those are the only 4 in the top 10 that are on less than 10-lap old tires.
And eventually they're going, depending on if we get a caution, it could change the complexion of this race. We know that Gemmel and the top 3 have about 10 or so more laps to stay out and hope for a caution, but this field is very spread out, so it's tough to say when will we see guys come in. And you got to remember now, Hatchell's going to have to fend off Jeff Wright here. How much of a fight will he be willing or be able to put up?
Jeff already catching back up to the 8.
How much can he slow him down is the question. Is we're going to close up to what will be eventually just barely over 20 laps to go. So 21 to go. I think Jeff Wright definitely has the pace, but how much is he going to get held up behind Seth Hatchell in the 8 here if the tires kind of are not equal, but they are similar, as Hatchell trying to be defensive here. But how much is it going to matter with Jeff Wright and the fresher tires here into turn 1? I don't think it'll matter too much, as Jeff Wright, just fresh tires though, seem to matter so much. As Hatchell carrying momentum to the outside, this could at least stall the progress of the 48. And remember, Hatchell's teammate Maiato is not too far up ahead, but I think this time this will be all the fight that Hatchell will have left, because Wright is going to clear off of turn number 4. Hatchell going to carry momentum. He'll cross over. Wright throws a block. Hatchell gets to the right rear, and it continues to hold up the 48. But I think into turn 1, this will be all she wrote. Here's Wright will easily get by Seth Hatchell here, but Hatchell putting pressure once again back on the 20. And how about this? Keith Maiato getting by Osmer for the lead. But Osmer not going to go down without a fight either, knowing this is for the race win. And Maiato gets clear, but now has a 2.5-second gap to Jeff Wright, who has almost 4-lap fresher tires. With 18 laps to go in this race. Gemmel, Mahalski, and Faircloth have yet to bring it down pit lane. Their only hopes are a caution coming out.
Right now, we've got a battle back around that 10th spot between Stravato, Cost, and Dice. That is really the closest battle on the field right now, besides Keith Maiato, Ronnie Osmer, and Jeff Wright and Seth Hatchell.
Wright is going to be there in a second, and I really, it's tough to say, but Stravato just might have waited too long to pit, because he's still 4 seconds behind Jeff Wright. Don't get me wrong, he has 2-lap fresher tires, but 4 seconds is a lot to catch up. And he's still got to get by Brody Hayes and Seth Hatchell, so there's a long way to go here.
And right now, Stravato only running about a 10th faster around the track than Jeff Wright, so that is not enough of a pace to catch back up within the next 20 laps.
And I think maybe Stravato's case might be a caution coming out later in this race. To see if it sets up for maybe a green-white checkered finish or something else happening as a battle for the lead currently on the racetrack. Mahalski battling Gemmel for the lead, and there's hoping for a caution, as well as Ray Massey shoots the middle between Dice and Koss. But this, once again, a battle for the lead, and it will probably be very short-lived here soon, as the guys with fresher tires are coming, and Osmer has really no fight for Jeff Wright, and Wright will go right on by Osmer for 5th, but will eventually be 2nd in this race as Keith Mayato will attain the lead once these guys pit, but he might not even see that lap led. Ooh, man, Mahalski fighting on the inside here, and these two desperately hoping for a caution. Faircloth just a little bit behind them, about 2 seconds behind, and then 5 seconds behind is Keith Mayato and Jeff Wright, and Wright will be there in about no time on the 36 with 15 laps to go.
Just under a half second, closing that gap rapidly to the back end of the 36 machine. It's interesting. I'm starting to think that Gimmel and Mahalski might try to stretch this out.
It's possible, but I just don't see it, though. 15 more laps on fuel and tires, let alone tires, is going to probably be the difference. And that last time, Wright was a half a second faster than Mayato, but now he's racing him and will be eventually for the race win once these top two probably pit. Mahalski is the first one to come in, and here comes Wright down to the inside. Has Keith Mayato saved up enough tire to hold off this 48, but the 48's already there to the inside, and that might be all she wrote once they get into turn one with the 5-lap pressure tire advantage. Mayato pinches the 48 down on the inside. Older tires on the outside, newer tires on the inside, a little more grip on the inside for Jeff Wright. And Wright still stays even, but pulls slightly ahead of the 36 into 3. Mayato sends it in on the outside, right to the right rear quarter panel, but he can't get on the gas as soon as the 48. And Jeff Wright, the reigning champion, goes back around and takes the lead, or will eventually be the lead of the race, as Ryan Gimmel and Dennis Faircloth have all brought it in. So Wright gets up to the point with 12 laps to go.
Osmer back here battling with Seth Hatchell once more. Hatchell's got the advantage right now, especially on tires. Now the 7-lap difference between those two.
And Osmer has the oldest tires in the top 10, so he is holding on for dear life here, and will eventually fall back to about probably 6th or 7th on the racetrack, but it'll be tough to see where else he can go back as he continues to battle with Hayes for the 4th place position on the racetrack. And Hatchell's already cleared both of them, and Hatchell with a little bit older tires, trying to hold off his teammate with 1-lap pressure tires. So this will be very interesting to see if he can, but AJ Stravato is coming up through the field as well, and he's right behind them.
Stravato's making a lot of headway right now. We could very well see that 33, the Italian Stallion, make his way onto the podium before this is all said and done. As we're coming around, we're going to be almost 10 to go here.
A podium will for sure be the case, I would have to think, but I don't know if we're going to see him run down Keith Mayato, who's 2.5 seconds up the road from Seth Hatchell. So it'll be a while here as Stravato will with ease clear Osmer, and he'll get into 5th now, and Osmer back down to 6th. And how about James Loveland as well? Freshest tires in the field, up to 8th and setting a solid pace. Actually the fastest car on the racetrack, but 10 seconds back won't matter, but solid pace from the 02 of Loveland. As now the battle for what will be 3rd eventually on this racetrack. Hayes is closing up on teammate Hatchell, but Stravato he's eyeing these two here for 3rd.
Yeah, Stravato's waiting for Hatchell and Hayes to start battling for this podium position. I would say we're going to see Stravato take a 2-for-1.
Very possible. The two teammates racing each other very hard. Hayes looks down to the inside. Here comes the cars with fresher tires. Faircloth going to get by at least the 33. He might just get by both of these VSPEED cars. Hopefully he'll wait and not disrupt this battle. These guys racing each other. Oh man, he's got to be careful here as Hayes now trying to fend off Faircloth, and Faircloth is going to hurt Brody Hayes here because here comes Stravato to the inside. They'll be 3 wide into turn number 1, and Faircloth will blow by these guys in a hurry, but now it's opened the door for Stravato to get underneath Brody Hayes here for 4th as both sliding on the exit of the corner.
Big wiggle there for Hayes on that outside line. Held it down. He's got the advantage going into 3. Be able to carry that momentum out of 4. Stay ahead of Stravato one more time around, but Stravato's going to get him. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
We'll see here as they'll go into turn 1. Teammate Seth Hatchell, teammate to Brody Hayes, continues to stay ahead of the 33, taking that clean air away. As Hayes continues to fight on the outside, maybe there is a possibility that he can run the rubber off of AJ Stravato's advantage. So we'll see if he can, but Stravato continuing to fight hard on that inside lane. This time I think he'll clear, but Hayes going to have a run on the exit of the corner And Stravato's going to take that 4th spot away and now set his eyes on 3rd. And as these two continue to race, or these guys are slowly but surely reeling in Keith Maiato, I don't think they're going to get there in time with what will be coming to 7 laps to go here this time by. So now Stravato has 7 laps to work over Seth Hatchell, but a little bit of that tire advantage is gone from battling and getting pinched on the bottom of Hayes.
Seth Hatchell, one of the best in the game at keeping cars behind him, so it's not going to be an easy overtake at all for Stravato.
That is for sure. We'll have to see what happens here as these top two continue to race, or this 3rd and 4th continue to race each other, and this will be for the last step on the podium, so to speak, as now Stravato to the inside of Seth Hatchell. Will Hatchell put up as much of a fight as his teammate Hayes did? Hatchell carrying the momentum on the outside lane, and he'll be able to at least hold on to that spot and clear Stravato again, and Stravato will have to work another set of corners to get by him as they come across the line. 5 laps to go for Jeff Wright here.
Stravato's now going to take a peek around the outside of Hatchell, but just not enough momentum there. Back to the inside through the tri-oval. He's going to have that inside line into turn 1 again. See if Stravato can pull it off and get around the 8 machine. Seth Hatchell sliding up the racetrack just so slightly.
And he tried that time. He sent it in deep that last time. And these guys are running down Maiato very quick. That time, 0.3 of a second faster while battling as Stravato sends it up wide in the outside lane, but just wasn't able to make it work there. We'll see if he can get the run and momentum down the front stretch. I don't think he will. So take that one off of, as at the moment, and Stravato still stuck behind Hatchell, but Hatchell is reeling in Keith Maiato here for 2nd, and this might be a 3-horse race for the top 3, or for 2nd and 3rd.
Very well could, but we are at 4 to go, so not a
Yeah,
lot of time
close
to do it.
It'll be very tight here as Stravato slides behind Hatchell, who takes the line away. All the air getting dumped in the nose of the 33 as he slides off of turn number 4. And now 3 laps to go here across the line for these top 3 as Wright has a 2.5-second lead over Maiato. Stravato now goes to the outside. Hatchell trying to take that line away. And now Stravato with the crossover on the 8 car. He'll get to the quarter panel, won't be able to side draft him. And now Stravato continues to stay behind. He's got to keep Seth Hatchell guessing. Hatchell driving more out of the mirror than he is the front windshield. Now Stravato to the inside of Hatchell. Not enough grip, not enough momentum.
Almost contact to the left
contact.
rear.
Almost contact. 2 laps to go for Jeff Wright, and closing up on a lap and a half to go, hoping this goes green. Can it go green to the end as these two continue to battle for 3rd on the racetrack? They won't probably get to keep Maiato, but this will be for 3rd place points, and both have led a lap in this race, so extra bonus points to move seeding in what is already an important regular season battle. Off of turn 4, white flag is out, race is official, 1 lap to go for Jeff Wright, 1.5 miles here in the Peach State of Georgia. Our first trip, we will make another trip on the Super Speedway later this year in the Chase, as Wright cruising home to his first win of the season and what will most likely be 2 in a row as we go to Sonoma next week, down the backstretch for the final time here tonight. And what has been a dominant performance from the reigning champion. He's led all about 20 laps, but Jeff Wright will come through 3 and 4, and Jeff Wright will see his first checkered flag of what will probably very many this season. Jeff Wright wins at Atlanta. Keith Maiato will get 2nd, and Seth Hatchell holds on to 3rd, and they looks like maybe a little contact behind. How about this? A battle for 10th across the racetrack, a spin off of the corner. How about Justin Carey battling for 9th? He will get that spot from Alan Dice, and the Daytona winner keeps on off of turn 4 and rallies for a top 10 place position. What a great race here tonight. Great racing all around from this race. And only 1 caution, and Jeff Wright, the winner here at Atlanta. And what a race we saw here tonight from the Atlanta Motor Speedway, Logan.
Yeah, that was a fantastic finish between Seth Hatchell, AJ Stravato. Stravato not able to get around Hatchell. But now it's time for Jeff Wright to send it through the infield and burn it down.
And he will across the Atlanta Motor Speedway. start finish line, and what a great race we saw here tonight. A very wide, spread out race, at least in terms of the lines being used. But man, at the front, it was pretty good. Jeff Wright was kind of in a league of his own, but from second on back, great battling all race. And man, what a race here from Atlanta. And hats off to these guys keeping it mostly clean here outside that one caution. But nonetheless, BTDY putting on a great show as BTDY Night in America never disappoints as the leader, as Jeff Wright, our winner, burns it down on the front stretch. We'll be right back for post-race interviews and a talk to your top three here tonight.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader, known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs. You can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
And welcome back here to tonight's finishing results here from the night's Atlanta Motor Speedway 200, the BTDY 200 from the Atlanta Motor Speedway, won by Jeff Wright. We'll take a look at our finishing positions here in what was a pretty darn good race, as Jeff Wright is your winner, leads all but, 20 laps or so. Keith Mayato comes home second. Seth Hatchell comes home third. AJ Stravato is fourth. Brody Hayes is fifth. Ronnie Osmer is sixth. Ray Massey is seventh. James Loveland is eighth. How about Justin Carey backing up his Daytona win with a ninth place finish? And Alan Dice is 10th.
Following up our top 10, we've got Max Cost taking that 63 up to 11th. Jace Coley in 12th. Dallas Sullivan will take home 13th. Noah Mahalski in 14th. Ryan Gimmel, rough night for the 6 machine, back in 15th. Down 9 positions there. Aaron Lee will take home the 16th position. Dennis Faircloth in the 80 machine will take home the 17th spot, followed by Nick Starling, 18 in 18th. Cody Adkins will take home 19th position. And lastly, in the top 20, Zach Smith in that 91.
And in 21st was Michael Jones. 22nd was Jake Mackey. 23rd was Jeremiah Vincent and Chris Samard, who were all involved in the same incident. Then Gary Sexton, 25th. Lane Selfridge was 26th. And Ty Giles Jr. was 27th, but did not complete a lap. And we'll move on to our third place finisher in pit road, setting with Seth Hatchell, who got a third place finishing position, I should say. And Seth, Alec, and Logan, the VSPEED booth. You got a comment, buddy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, man, a solid run for yourself here tonight. A good rebound off of what was a poor performance at Daytona after half the field was wrecked. But nonetheless, the top three. How does it feel to get the season now started off to the normal cookie cutter tracks?
Feels good. This is where we sort of gauge true speed for the season a lot of times, outside of the super speedways. So felt like we had decent speed tonight. Of course, same old story. Jeff Wright going out there and dominating. So we'll have work to do, but that's part of the fun of it all. But happy to get out of here with third place.
For sure. Now, next week, we're going to a road course at Sonoma. We know Jeff's going to probably be the car to beat. How do you feel about going out there and attacking as much as you can to at least, probably at least maybe get a good finish and back it up for the points this year?
Yeah, I feel solid. Probably racing for a top 5 or so. He's extremely good there, but I feel like my road course stuff has improved a lot over the last couple of years or so. Have to put a little bit of practice in, just see where we end up. Try not to get too much out of the car because it's easy at a place like that to end your day early making a mistake. So just have to show up and see what we got.
For sure. Well, we appreciate your time. So, anybody you want to thank here for a nice performance?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys in the booth for doing a great job. Got to thank everybody here at BTDY doing a great job putting the league together. All the drivers putting on a great race, and my team VSPEED.
For sure. Well, we appreciate your time, Seth, and we'll be talking to you again next week at Sonoma.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
All right, and that's Seth Hatchell, third place finisher. We'll move on to second place finisher Keith Mayato and pull him up in here. And Keith, Alec, and Logan in the VSP booth. You got a copy, buddy?
I'm here, man.
Well, man, a solid showcasing after last week's performance at Daytona, and now tonight come out with the top three. How does it feel to get the season moved in the right direction?
It's definitely in the positive direction. Trying to get by Jeff or staying ahead of Jeff is another problem in itself, but it's nice to have some strategy work out where I can maintain P2.
For sure on that. Now, next week, go to the road course out in California at Sonoma. How do you feel about going out there? We know Jeff's going to probably be the car to beat, but how do you feel about attacking that road course and trying to get some more points for this later this season?
Probably not good. I intentionally skipped it last season, so I plan on being there next week, but I don't think I'll be happy with top 5.
For sure. Well, we appreciate your time, Keith. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to here tonight for tonight's performance?
Yeah, shout out to yourself and Logan, doing an awesome job with the broadcast. Everyone for BTDY for doing an awesome job with the league and all the competitors. It was a great, clean race overall.
For sure. Well, we appreciate your time, Keith, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week at Sonoma.
I'll do my best. Have a good one.
Right. Have a good one. That's Keith Mayato, the second place finisher. And Logan, I believe you're standing with our winner in victory lane.
Yeah, I've got Jeff right down here in victory lane. The 48 machine does it once more. 98 laps led, Jeff. You just absolutely dominated this race. Not a whole lot of competition coming around. A few battles, especially early on with Noah Mahalski. Did you really think that anybody had, a good strategy to kind of catch up with you? I know that sounds kind of cocky to say, but it didn't really seem like there's much action for you up there at the front of the field, Jeff.
Well, I was dealt some pretty good cards. I got the pole and obviously had clean air much of the race. And, the first, parts of the race, everybody's just in tire conservation mode. So nobody's really pushing too aggressively at the get-go just because this is such a high tire wear racetrack that, if you burn them off in the first 5-10 laps, it's going to make that last run really, really long and you're going to lose a ton of speed. So it's, it's just, you kind of have to balance that a little bit. Some guys you saw, they went forward really quick. I think, Mahalski was one of those guys and he got up to second and then he looked like he was just content. He wasn't even trying to pass me. He just slotted in right behind me. So I didn't even really have to battle anybody because nobody really was trying to pass me. Everybody's just trying to save the tires. So, but yeah, Atlanta's just such a fun racetrack and glad we could get one again. Especially after the way Daytona started last week. We got involved in a wreck, so we didn't start off very well in the points. This is the perfect way to try to bounce back a little bit.
Absolutely, it is. You cannot complain whatsoever following up after Daytona. Like you said, a very unfortunate circumstance for you there, but bounce back fantastically. Now, next week, we're going to Sonoma. We know that you're good there. What are your thoughts of preparation, or are you just going to get out there and wing it?
Yeah, Sonoma's definitely my favorite road course we go to. So I'm excited to see that on the schedule again. Just got to go there, execute, make no mistakes. It's easy to do at that racetrack. There's a lot of areas where you can mess it up and get in the dirt and, maybe never recover. So we're going to go there and, try to get the best qualifying effort that we can. Obviously, anytime you can start up towards the front, if not, the very front, that's a huge advantage on any road course. And Sonoma is no different. So, we just got to go there and try to limit our mistakes, and hopefully we can come out with another good finish.
Absolutely. Well, Jeff, appreciate your time here, buddy. Great race. Is there anybody you'd like to give a quick shout out to for putting that 48 Pepsi machine on the top of this podium tonight?
Yeah, just big thanks to BTDY and everybody, that makes this league happen, all the admins. Obviously, you guys up in the booth, Alec, you and Logan, been doing a great job for us here in this BTDY series. And just all the sponsors, too, that make this happen. So, KHIO, Martin Sports, Other Terra Magic, Affinity for Gaming. I might be forgetting one more. I don't know if you can help me. I think Up There Disc Golf. There we go. I didn't want to forget that one. But I think I covered them all. Just big thanks to everybody, that puts on these events so that we can come out here and have a good time on Tuesday night.
Absolutely. Well, we had a blast watching it, Jeff, and we'll see you next week at Sonoma.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
That was Jeff Wright. We'll send it back to Alec Martinez up here in the booth, and we'll get right into the post-race thoughts here.
Yeah, man, what a race we saw. And obviously Jeff Wright showing that he's going to be competitive, and he's going to do a great job this season. He's going to be the guy to beat. And what a race, for second and third, we had good racing here, and can't wait to get out to Sonoma. We know he's going to be tough to beat, but it's going to be fun to see these guys tackle the first road course this season.
Absolutely it is. Sonoma's not an easy track by any means. I'm not sure if anybody has really beaten Jeff Wright there. So it's, whenever we get to that point next week and you ask me who I think is going to win, I think the options are pretty clear. But anything can happen at a road course. It could be anybody's day. It could be anybody's bad day. So we might see something weird happen. You never know.
You just never know. But, we appreciate all of you viewers tuning in and watching this race here tonight. Again, congratulations to Jeff Wright, and on behalf of everybody here at BTDY, Nick Starling, Cody Atkins, Alan Dice, Dallas Sullivan, all the admin teams here that have put everything together. And appreciate everybody here at VSPEED, Adam Baker, Bradley Cooper, Eddie Smith, Morgan Cook, and of course, Logan, thanks for being in the booth and doing the production here tonight. And I'm Alec Martinez, so appreciate you guys all tuning in here tonight. And if you enjoyed what you watched, enjoy what you're seeing, like, subscribe, and continue to watch the great racing action all week on VSPEED. And we'll see you guys for the BTDY Racing Series presented by KHIO next week from the Sonoma Raceway. And until then, everybody, take care, and we'll see you from Wine Country.